I've been studying and teaching the Divine Feminine for many years now, and yet again, we have come to a place of reckoning. Who are we and who is she in the face of history? The Epstein files have released this exposure of yet another spiritual teacher who has postured as somebody who has a privileged understanding of the goddess, of the Divine Feminine, and then he turns out to be a creep. And everybody's surprised, although nobody is surprised. We understand in history how we came to this place and how it keeps getting played out again and again and again. This happens because we have confused who the Divine Feminine is. We have confused the goddess. We have so erased her from our memory and our lived spiritual traditions that we have superimposed patriarchal terms, concepts, and languaging back onto the goddess because we don't really remember what her language is. So what is her language? There is a major difference between power and liberation. Liberation is the ability to recall our fundamental wholeness. We don't start off broken. We start off with the understanding. We start off with the understanding that we are whole and complete, that this heart is the map of all reality. The moment we invite infinity into the room and start talking about it in a religious tradition is the moment the wholeness and fundamental, complete, infinite being of embodied existence must be addressed. If the first thing we say of that infinity is that it is split, separated, and parsed out, we have created a fundamental division where the human being is suffering, divided, and broken. This is not what reality shows us. Reality shows us that we have a heartbeat. This heartbeat and this breath beat is one whole and complete reality. The mirror that is shining out of my being is being reflected back. I have it in my complete sovereignty, and this is the real meaning of sovereignty. I have it in my complete sovereignty to notice what I notice, to develop my curiosity, and to come to a more complete understanding of what it is in me, what it is in my heart that creates the division, that creates the separation. But we start from the recognition that we are whole. We start from the recognition that we are whole. If we're superimposing concepts of patriarchy onto the Divine Feminine, it looks like this. We start calling her an archetype. We call her a pattern within the whole. She's already separated. She's already broken into bits. She's already subordinated. She is a pattern within the whole. This is why, again and again, you'll hear me say, she is not an archetype. She is breath itself. She is heartbeat itself. She is that liberated quality of being able to take two opposites and hold them simultaneously. The heart knows how to do that. The heart knows how to carry two opposites simultaneously. The heart knows how to carry grief and joy, how to carry insecurity and confidence, how to carry bigness and smallness at the same time simultaneously, and that is liberation. But if we come into the room where infinity is already split, where that concept of pulsation is already subordinated into parts and pieces, then we come in already suffering. We come in assuming that we're broken. When we come into the room assuming that we're broken, we will beg the teacher, please bring me to wholeness. Please show me salvation. And then what? Then we're putting that teacher into the position of kingship. That is not spirituality. That is kingship. That is empire. When I come into the room begging, please save me, teacher. Please show me the way, teacher. And some of these teachers are very powerful. Some of them are intellectual powerhouses who can convince us of all kinds of things. Some of them transmit lineage and awakening, but only when you're near them, only when you're propitiating them. Transmission is power. Transmission is not liberation. Liberation is whole and complete. A 3-year-old understands curiosity. An 80-year-old understands curiosity. This is not complex. Curiosity unbinds us. That is sovereignty. Sovereignty is curiosity. We have the ability to remember the wholeness of our being. Transmission is a manipulation of power. Transmission is what happens when we give our power of connectivity at the heart to somebody, and then we lay down at their feet. Now, even the most liberated teacher who can also transmit, oh, you can do both. You can be liberated and you can transmit. But how easy is it for you to cultivate students and, oh, 1 or 2 or 3 students tell you how powerful you are? That might not tip you back over the edge. But 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, how many students does it take for us to start flirting with that edge where we start to think, oh, here I am as a teacher, I have this capacity to transmit. You're begging at my feet. You are putting me into the position of royal kingship. You are calling me sovereign. You are calling me sovereign. It is so tempting to slip into power and create manipulation and create the power play, to subordinate the divine feminine, to put her in a box and then to say, I can show you who she is. Nobody can show you who she is except yourself. You are whole and complete. There is nobody outside of your heart and the reflection of your heart shining the pouring forth of reality into your being. The moment our spiritual traditions correct the mistake and say, the body is included, the body is whole and complete, your life is whole and complete, and you are included in your process. The process is the spiral. The process is the activation. The process is the awakening of curiosity. The moment our spiritual traditions say the body is holy, life pouring forth through form is holy, is as holy as the space in which it is held, where the stillness and the pulsation are a united whole. The moment our traditions say that is the moment we understand that our ethical behavior can come into a foundational alignment of deep wholeness. Full stop. A teacher who is engaging in unethical behavior is not liberated. I know that that challenges a lot of people because we have such entrenched beliefs about our precious teachers. A teacher who is engaging in unethical behavior is not liberated. Full stop. Liberation is when the body is included, when all of life is pouring forth as the sacred. How are you going to injure embodiment? How can you create pain, suffering, assault? If that pouring forth of life is divine, absolute divine, stillness and pulsation are totally whole and complete. How could you possibly injure that? How could you create violence? How could you want anything other than the profound recognition of that? Let me heal the body of this earth. It is my body. Let me heal the body of this earth and replenish the soil that is holy. Let me breathe deep into the heart of my being and investigate the places that are wounded. That is holy. Let me see into this form that has temperature and texture, that has vibration. That is holy, and it is whole. Once again, we have an opportunity to look at power and liberation. And remember, if liberation is to be true, if we're to bring infinity into the room, it has to be understandable and simple enough that anybody, anywhere, at any point in their lifespan, time, space, or process has access to understanding it. Expand, contract, pause, heartbeat, breath beat, curiosity. That's the divine feminine. The divine feminine is curiosity itself. What is her body? Her body is the body of curiosity. The body of curiosity. Isn't that what we love in our children? When our children are young, one of their most charming qualities is their unshakable curiosity. We all have access to our wholeness at all times. The real sovereign is the heart, not a person out there.